Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for checking out my channel. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, and this is a review of X. So there's a fun story behind this. Couple of reasons that I did this. First of all, I'm a blind film critic, so I generally review films with audio description, and I review them from the perspective of a blind person. I'm trying to elevate the conversation around accessibility and why it matters. And sometimes I review a film without audio description just to highlight how difficult it is to watch. That is the case here. I did not watch X with audio description. Is there available audio description for X? Yes. This all started out because I was willing to watch X. I was willing to rent X from the Apple iTunes store. But unfortunately, there's a glitch when I try to do that where, because it knows I have a subscription where X is currently qualifies, it won't let me rent it. It pushes me over to the other app. It's way too integrated. So it's like, no, you already have the rights to this. You can watch this. Why would you pay money to rent this? And it's like, that's an excellent question. Why would I pay an extra $6 to watch a film that I already have access to? And the answer is because, unfortunately, Paramount Plus, despite the fact that they added Showtime, does not support audio description for any of its content, regardless of whether or not that content has audio description. Even with Showtime original programming, like Dexter New Blood and Yellow Jackets, which if you subscribe to Showtime directly, you can have access to their audio description through their program, through their own individual apps. It does not give you that access if you decide to merge your subscription with Paramount Plus. So it's something I've been on Paramount Plus for 3 months now, so I have no problem dragging them through the coals on this one, just raking them over the coals. Because, yeah, I did this with Confess Fletch. I talked about Confess Fletch. It didn't have audio description. That one had no known audio description that I knew of. And I couldn't see on any of the rental services that any service had it listed with audio description, so I have no idea that a track was ever created. But I do know that X had a track created for it. It's just, they're not using it. So I decided, let's see what X is like. I also made the cohesive thought of maybe thinking, well, if they're going to do this to all the A24 films that are all going to hit Showtime, because that's where A24 films go, if it's going to recognize that, I should probably go ahead and rent the ones that have... So this won't be a problem in the future, but it just pushed me into this situation. So I'm glad it did, because we need to talk about why Paramount Plus and Showtime need to commit to audio description. This film is really difficult to follow. I went into the film, I didn't look it up. We shouldn't have to read an online spoiler review just so that we can understand the film before we watch it. That should not have to be the method that blind people watch film, is to go online, to go to a website like the Movie Spoiler and read a gigantic recap of the entire film and then go watch the film. That defeats the purpose. So all I knew was it took place during the 70s. It's about a film crew that is shooting on location on a farm in a barn, I guess. They're shooting an X-rated movie, in case you're wondering where the title came from. They're like, X, that's a weird title. It's not really that weird. They're basically shooting porn in a barn. And one thing leads to another, and suddenly people start dying. It's from director T. West, who, after looking at his IMDb page, I realized I actually have not seen a feature of his before. However, he has directed episodes of lots of TV shows that I've watched. So I've definitely seen his work as a director. It's just very interesting that I've only seen him whenever he dips his toes into TV directing. So this is my first encounter with him as a director. I've known about him. I just thought it was really weird. I was like, really? This is the first time I've seen a T. West film? Okay. It stars Mia Goth. It's Jenna Ortega, who everybody's getting, giving a lot of praise for her performance right now in Wednesday. Brittany Snow is in this. Kid Cudi is in this. And Stephen Ewan is in this. That's kind of the big... So it's got a good cast, actually, for a horror film, an A24 horror film. As far as the film goes, it's hard to follow. The thing is that no matter what it is that you're looking at, it's going to be... There are a lot of scenes without dialogue. Actually, the very beginning of the film opens with something. I have no fucking clue. But it took a while for me to... Actually, it was so quiet at the beginning of the film. I was like, is it playing? Is it playing? I'll give it a minute. I think I hit play. Maybe it's loading. I was sitting there. It's so quiet at the beginning of the film. And then it kicks in. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. Maybe if we just had credits... I have no idea. I don't know, but it felt like I had to wait a couple minutes for like confirmation that the film was playing. I'm sure normally that would have been audio description would have been filling it in and been like, a girl is sitting on a front porch rocking in a chair quietly by herself, just staring off into the distance. I don't know what the fuck was happening at the top of this film. I have no idea. I still have no idea. Because guess what? I didn't look it up. It's not my job to go onto the internet later on and go, what here? What did I miss? I missed it because you guys didn't give me accessibility. That's why I missed it. It's not my job to track it down and to like hunt through the internet and be like, hey, could somebody explain X to me? I'm blind, and they didn't give me accessibility, and I couldn't follow the movie. I have no idea what happens at the beginning of this film. No. So the guys are filming porn, and do I need that described? I don't know, because sometimes, depending on who's writing it, it can be kind of awkward to listen to audio description about porn. Lots of thrusting. Everyone uses the thrusting term, and every time I've heard sex scenes in movies, it's always, if we can't find another term. I wish we had more diversity in sex scenes because there's so much thrusting. I could hear the narration, and I was like, a man thrusts into a woman, and I was like, yep, that's what happens with all the audio descriptions of every sex scene I've ever watched in a film or a TV show. So I don't know, maybe they did something creative here, but that was what my guess was. There's a fair amount of it, and you don't know who is on camera. You don't know. It's just moaning. And it's porn moaning too, so it's like over the top. It is what it is. And I have no idea who it was with. So they're out there, they're doing their thing, and one thing leads to another, and we find out that the owners of the property that originally let them shoot out there, Howard and Pearl, Pearl is none too happy about this. And when she gets none too happy, she gets a little murderous. And Howard knows this and is trying to keep Pearl away and trying to make this thing happen, okay, because he was the one that said it was okay, but I don't know, dude. If you know your wife is a murderer, then maybe just not have people over for guests. That would just be my guess. And eventually, the cast and crew of the film end up finding themselves getting killed off one by one. I have no idea in which order. I don't even know who survives this film. I don't know. Someone does. Someone drives away at the end. Do I know? That's a spoiler, I guess, but I don't know who it is. It literally could be anybody. I have no fucking clue who drove away in a van. There's a van, it drives away. It sounds like it runs over a body. It was the best I could come up with. There's there's a character death I'm pretty sure about, where I'm like, yeah, because of the way that it was set up, and I recognized the voice. I was following that character's voice, and then after a certain point in the film, you never see him again. So it's like, well, I guess that was his death scene. Um, there's somebody in here who's being a very excellent scream queen, and it makes me very frustrated because I know there are kill sequences in here where people get killed. I have no idea how they get killed. It's really hard to watch a horror film when you just hear like slicing and blood's gurgling and stuff like that, but you have no idea what just happened. But there's a girl in here that's a scream queen to the max, because her reactions, just all the time, she gives that blood curdling scream like she's just stumbled upon like a house of 1,000 corpses. It's just like it's just like and she does it a couple times and it's great, but I have no idea what she's reacting to. But her performance is perfect for what this is. I'm not gonna take that away from her. So I don't know which actress that is, if it's Brittany Snow, if it's Jenna Ortega, or if it's Mia Goth. It could be any of them. Don't know. But she just keeps reacting to seeing like horrific shit. And it's great. I love the fact that Mia Goth is playing two characters in here, because she does a really good job of playing both Maxine and Pearl. And to think of, I'm assuming she's a lot closer in personality to Maxine. Like, that's what she looks like more authentically, and that Pearl is more of a stretch and adding, character makeup, I'm sure, and old aging and stuff to her. But that's one hell of a performance. It's for her to be Pearl also in this. For it to be the actress playing two different roles, that's pretty amazing. So yeah, I thought I could tell, even with the lack of audio description, that Mia Goth was giving like a really good performance, considering she's not that old, but she's playing somebody who's easily twice her age, if not more. So there's that. I don't know what else to tell you. There were things that were happening. They wander around in the darkness and they see things, and people sneak up, and the soundtrack is fine. T. West is not somebody who relies on cheap jump scare music. So when something needs to go boo, there's not this like loud like like in the music at the same time. He just kind of lets things sit. I really loved his the music that he chose. It's funny when you have nothing really to listen to or follow, you just go, what do I enjoy? I love the music that he selected, not necessarily the score, but the soundtrack to the film was really cool and appropriate, and gave the film a really solid vibe. I have a feeling I would like this a lot more if I knew what the hell it was. That's what I'm saying. So if T. West, if A24, if the producers of A24 and everything, just if they don't feel like I'm being really unfair here, know that for most of the film, I had no fucking clue what was going on. I don't know who lives and dies in this film. I have a pretty solid idea about some characters, but like at the end of the film, as I said, someone lives. I have no idea who it is. None. Couldn't figure it out. So, yeah, that's the truth. I don't know who dies where. It feels like more people are dead than are in the film. But then again, I don't know if that's just people coming back and maybe they like hit somebody once and then they come back to finish them off. I have no idea, but the film doesn't seem to have a very big cast. But I think more people died than are in the cast, which is weird. This is why it's important, because I am confused as shit. And if you're blind, and if you're visually impaired, and you try to watch X, but on Showtime and Paramount Plus without audio description, you will be too. That is my point. I did it for you. I've already been here. I did understand more of X than I did Crimes of the Future, which has long sequences with no dialogue. And when the dialogue does happen, it's not necessarily helpful to the plot of the film. This one is shot more like a straight-up horror movie where you do have a lot of visual cues that you need, and the violence and the gore is totally lost on you because, you know, you can't see it. And it's not like they're going to describe it. It's not like there's a character that's like, oh my God, he's sticking the knife into his neck and he's pulling to the right and the blood is coming out and it's just spraying everywhere. Oh no, now the head is falling off. The head is off, guys. The head is, it's rolling on the ground and now his body is falling to the ground. They don't do that. That would be really helpful, but it would also be really cheesy. So, it just doesn't happen. So, unfortunately, I have no fucking clue what happened in this film, and I'm not gonna look it up. So, not my job. It's not my job to fill in the lack of accessibility. I'm a blind film critic. I review films from the perspective of a blind person, and if you don't give me audio description, it means I don't know what the hell is going on most of the time. This is a great example of that. But I will acknowledge that there were elements in this film that made me think, if there was audio description, I probably would have liked this film more. I don't know how much more, but definitely more than the grade I'm about to give it. So, all of that being said, and I realize A24 fans are like, the wrath will fall upon me. But I'm going to give X a D+. Yeah, that's where my level of enjoyment was for X. It's some decent acting. I think it has some cool ideas. I think Mia Goth's Pearl, even if you can't see, you can appreciate what it is that she's doing. But this film is almost unwatchable, almost 100% unwatchable. I really don't know. I can't tell you who lived and who died. And I think for a horror film, that's kind of the key thing. And I think that kind of means it's unwatchable. So sorry A24 fans, sorry X fans. You know, to A24 and to T West, all I can say is make sure your accessibility carries. No matter where it's shown, no matter what streaming service it moves to, always make sure that your accessibility follows. Your film should always have closed captioning. Your film should always have audio description. It just should. It's the right thing to do. Accessibility matters. And that's why I'm here. So, anyway, thanks for sitting through this review. If you're here, you must like me a little bit. I'm still trying to break 100 subscribers this year. This was actually my 200th film of 2022, not counting films that were not released in 2000. I'm talking about, I've seen 200 films that were released in 2022 as of X. That is correct. So, and it's not December. As of me, you'll see this review in December, but I'm reviewing this right at the end of November. And I post one review a day, and I know with the limited amount of time, this will hit December. So, but I'm above 200. So look at that. I'd like to have over 100 subscribers. That'd be nice. I also have a website, MacTheMovieGuy.com. you can go to the Audio Description Project, adp.acb.org, where you can find out where films do have audio description. And like I said, this film does have audio description available on iTunes. But fortunately, apparently, if you have a Paramount Plus subscription with Showtime, good luck. Unless you want to just drop $20 on buying the film. And you can go to theidna.org and you can find out who narrates or works on the audio description for your favorite films and TV shows. That's it for me today. But I will review something else for you guys, and I will let you know what it's about. But I'll see you on the other side.